What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome back for some more Fire Emblem heroes. And in this video I'm going to be showcasing all of my 5-star units and all of the builds which I've gone for those units. I've pretty much built every 5-star unit I have, and this video has been requested a lot by you guys, so here it is. And let's begin with Alphonse, the original bench warmer. So he was the last Asker Trio member which I upgraded. The first one was Sharina, then I upgraded Anna, and at last I upgraded Alphonse. So I just have a Deathblow Swordbreaker set on him, and then I've got my Marth. Marth was actually my first 5-star unit which I got, and then I just ended up getting a lot of 5-star Marths, and I do not think that Marth has been on a banner ever since he was on the original banner when the game came out. So he's a +4 Marth with a Fury Desperation set and Ardent Sacrifice for some passive healing. And then I've got Ogma. Ogma has crashed my pity person when I tried to summon Eldigan on the Cavalry banner, I believe. So yeah, I have got two 5-star Ogmas. I've just built him with Fury and Desperation set. He's a really nice bulky Brave Sword unit. I do not think I've showcased him in a Arena Assault video or something like that, so I might do that. And then I've got a Athena. I also have another Athena. I actually got two of them, and I'm saving this one for her Vote Out Plus. If there is any kind of worthy unit which comes out in future who needs Vote Out Plus, then I would definitely give this weapon to them. And I've got my real Athena, and this is a Vote Out Plus set with Fury and Desperation. She comes with good default skills, so that's good. And then I've got Now this is a minus attack and I did merge a minus speed into this one, I believe. Minus attack isn't really too bad because he helps me a lot in Tempest Trials with reciprocal aid, and even in chain challenges he's a pretty good passive healer because of renewal and reciprocal aid. So I just built him as a passive healer. And then I've got my Grey. I'm also saving him because of his Zanbato sword in case any kind of worthy unit comes out in future. And then I've got my real Grey, and he's running a Fury Vantage set. He's super useful because of Sword Valor, and he's an amazing unit when it comes to SP grinding. And then I've got Tobin. He's one of the units which I haven't touched at all, and I haven't built him at all because I only really use him for my free-to-play guide videos. I'm not going to be using him outside of those, so that's why I haven't really built him. I built Saber with his Shield Pulse skill, and he's got Pavis. So Pavis goes really well with Shield Pulse, and he's got a turn 1 Pavis ready so he can tank a lot of hits, and he's got pretty good defense stats, and I just went with a budget build. And then I've got Sulliv. In few days he will be seeing his parents, and he's gonna be crying in the corner because Sigurd is just too good. And I built him defensively as well with Defiant Attack and Brash Assault, so he's basically a Brash Assault build with Reciprocal Aid, Draconic Aura. And I've got Lyn. I've got two Lyns, and both of them were minus attack or minus speed. This one is actually minus speed, but it doesn't really matter because Brash Assault goes really well with Soul Catty because this has got Desperation built into it, and Brash Assault does give you a guaranteed follow-up if the opponent can counter attack, and then Soul Catty can make that follow-up attack instant. So that's why I've used this Lyn a lot in chain challenges and Tempest Trials actually. And then I've got my Karel, who has got Life and Death and Desperation set. Karel was actually pretty good when he came out, but then Athena came out, and Athena just completely outclasses Karel when it comes to offensive capabilities and defensive capabilities. And then I've got my Erica. This is a +2 merged Erica, and she's a very good buffer because of Sieglinde, Hone Speed, and Rally Defense. And you can of course give her Fortify, Res, 3 Sacred Seal so that she can buff all of these stats, which is pretty nice. And I usually use her a lot with my Nino. Then I've got my Heavy Blade Ike. I've used him a lot in the Moment of Fate Tempest Trial as my bonus unit. I do use Auto Battle in Tempest Trial on the Lunatic 5 battle mode. Ike was actually insane with the Tempest Trial bonus, and he would just heal himself with Ether, so that was really good. And then I've got my plus speed Lucina. I've also built her just like my Marth, and she's got a Fury Desperation set with Ardent Sacrifice. And I've also used this Lucina quite a lot in chain challenges because she's just so good. She's fast, has got good attack, and can also use Ardent Sacrifice. And then I've got my Mass Lucina. I also did not really built this one. I just gave her Pivot and Luna, and that's pretty much it. I just used this Marth in my free-to-play guides. And then we have got another one which we got from the Hector Tempest Trial. So I also haven't really leveled her up or built her up because I already have this Marth. And I'm not really in the mood of merging this one, because if I merge her and then use her in a video, then the AI movement might change because of my merged Mass Lucina. So that's why I haven't really merged her. Then we have got Male Corrin. He has also crashed my pity raid for Eldigan. I do remember him, and I've built him with Fury and Desperation. He's actually a pretty nice unit. I've actually used him quite a bit, but I do want to use him a lot more. And then I've got my Rheoma. And this is a +4 Rheoma, and I've given him my Summoner support because he's one of the units which I use a lot. And he's got Life and Death Vantage set with Draconic Aura and Reposition. I've used this Rheoma so many times in my videos. If you guys have seen my Hero Fest 1 summoning video, then you know how lucky I got with that. So I ended up getting a lot of Rheomas. And then I've got Hannah, and this is a unit which I upgraded all the way from 3-star to 5-star. And I went with the Brave Sword set because at that time I had a minus attack 5-star Kane, so I decided to fight him off for his Brave Sword plus. And she's actually a pretty nice unit, can hit extremely hard, and I've used her in my videos. And then I've got my Drog, and he used to be the fastest armored unit ever before Amelia and Black Knight came out. So for that reason I did upgrade him back then for my Armor Emblem team, and he definitely did a lot of good work on my Armor Emblem team. But now he's kind of benched because Amelia has come, and I've replaced Drog with Amelia, so that's why I do not really use him that much. And then I've got Zephiel. Zephiel is also another unit which I used to use in my Armor Emblem team, but Black Knight came, and Black Knight is a bit better than Zephiel, and he has got more speed, so that's why I like him. And right now Zephiel is also benched for my Armor Emblem team. I did not really use him too much, but for some of the chain challenges I definitely used him a lot because he's really bulky, so that's why. And then I've got my Black Knight with Steady Breath and Quick Repose set, and he's a monster. That's why I've given him Steady Breath, and he's paired up with Amelia. Amelia and Black Knight do cover each other's weaknesses pretty well, and you guys know how broken Black Luna is. And then I've got Roy, and I actually got really lucky and got this plus speed Roy, so he's the best offensive cavalier in the entire game. And I've used him quite a bit. His Gale Force and Blazing Durandal shenanigans are pretty interesting. And then I've got Roy's father, Eliwood. He's completely neutral, and I got him from the Hawkeye and Ninian Bound Hero Battle banner. And I've built him up with Deathblow and Swordbreaker. And it's pretty funny how how much of a monster Roy is compared to Eliwood. And then I've got my Xander. I've used him so much on my Horse Emblem team. He's one of the units which I use a lot, and he might get replaced with Sigurd. Depending on the stats of Sigurd. I also have this encounter which I can give to Sigurd and make him a pretty nice defensive unit for my Horse Emblem team. But I've just went with a budget set, Attack +3 and Quick Repose 2, and it has worked out really good for me. And then I've got Sheeta, and she does hit like a wet noodle. Even with Life and Death 2, she only has 41 attack. This is a plus speed minus res Sheeta, so that's why I just went with Life and Death 2, because she was minus res as it is, and she can still do a lot of damage with her Glacies, even though she's minus res with Life and Death. And then I've got my Pala. I used to use her on my Flyer team a lot when Elencia didn't come out, but right now she's just benched. And I also sacrificed a Hinoka to her, so if I knew that Elencia was going to be coming in the game, then I wouldn't have sacrificed a Hinoka. But still, occasionally I do use her for Flyer teams when I really need another Hone Flyer unit. And then I've got Elencia, so she's the main Flyer Emblem red unit which I've got right now, and I use her over Pala most of the time, and she's pretty good with Amity and Dragback and Deathblow. And then I've got my Young Tiki with minus attack. That's why I haven't really given her Lightning Breath Plus, because Lightning Breath Plus does not really have a very high might, and she's minus attack, so that's why didn't really give that. And I just went with a budget set of Attack +3 and Quick Repose. And then I've got my Katarina with Swift Sparrow and Desperation set. Pretty nice budget set with Iceberg. And then I've got my Celica. I've used Celica so much. She's my best red mage, I think, because of Life and Death and Ragnarok. And also she's plus speed, which is really good. So I've used her a lot in the Tempest Trials and Chain Challenges, and she hits like a truck. I also have another Celica. This is a Celica which I got from the Ninian and Hawkeye Bound Hero Battle banner when I was trying to get Eliwood, I think. And then I've got Lilina. This is a minus res Lilina, and I've went with Deathblow and Swordbreaker set. She's got such a high attack stat. And I've got Sophia, and this is the most recent 5-star unit I've got from the Voting Gauntlet banner. I do not have Henry right now, so that's why I haven't given her Raven Tome, and I also do not have a Roy, so that's why she only has Triangle Adept 2. Then I've got my Sanaki with Triangle Adept, Tone Speed, Swordbreaker, and Draconic Aura. Tharja, she is also one of the units which I've used a lot. Great Blade Tome user with Life and Death and Desperation. I usually use her a lot in Tempest Trials and Chain Challenges because of the fact that how broken Blade Tomes are. And then I've got my Summer Leo. He's actually minus res, and I do not really have too many Hinatas, so that's why I didn't really give him Fury 3. But if I get more Hinatas in future, I would definitely give him Fury 3. And then I've got my Sharina. Sharina, I believe, is the first unit which I upgraded from 4-star rarity to 5-star. And I used to use her a lot with Fury and Swordbreaker set, and she's still pretty good unit. And then I've got my Ginger Stud, Lucas, and he's plus attack, which is super good, and he's a very tanky unit, and you guys have seen me use this Lucas in Arena. And then I've got my Ephraim. He's a minus speed Ephraim. I haven't been able to get any kind of Ephraim that's not minus speed or minus attack, but still, he just rocks, and I've used him a lot with my Blade Tome units, more than Erica actually. I used him more than Erica, and I do like him more than Erica actually because of his power. And then I've got my Nephni, used her a lot in the Path of Radiance Tempest Trial as she was a bonus unit, and that's why she has got insane amounts of SP. And I also gave her Swift Sparrow from one of the Kaitarinas I had. And then I've got my female Robin. She's super useful when it comes to grinding for SP, and she just has a budget set with HP Defense 2 and Renewal. And then I have got my Brave Lucina. I haven't really invested into her too much because I like how the set works, and it has been working out pretty great for me. I like the utility of Dragback and the bulk from Sturdy Blow, so that's why I just went with a budget set. And then I've got my Azira. I've used her a lot, like anyone would with a Dancer, and she has been a very useful unit. And then I've got my Brave Lance Effie. She's also a permanent member of my Armor Emblem team, and I've paired her up with Hector. And she actually is such a scary unit with Brave Lance, and when she has got Armor March boost, so she can just annihilate a lot of units. And then I've got my Abel. I believe he's plus attack, so I went with a Deathblow, Brave Lance, and Hit and Run set, and he's pretty decent actually. I've also got Roderick. I got 2 Rodericks actually, one on his own banner, and then I guess one on the Northern Summer banner. I think that's what it is. So I just went with Life and Death and Dragback, and I usually just go with the budget options if I do not want to build a unit too much. If it's a unit which I am super passionate about or super interested in building that unit, then I do go and upgrade Hannah to 5-star rarity so that I can give that unit Life and Death 3. But for the most part, I do use Life and Death 2. And then I've got another Roderick. I've been saving him up for his Fire Sweep Lance so that I can inherit that to a worthy unit in future maybe. I was gonna give that to Tana, but then I backed out and didn't give her that. And then I've got Camus. I've also used him a lot in the Chain Challenges. He's super useful with Xander in the Chain Challenges, and of course in the free-to-play guides. So he's a great unit. And then I've got Clive. Clive is also another unit after Tobin and Mass Lucina, which I haven't touched, and I haven't really built him at all. And I just use him for my free-to-play guides, and that's pretty much it. And then I've got my Matilda. Once again, like I said, I do not have too many Hinatas, so that's why I just went with Fury 2 as of right now. But if I do get more Hinatas, then I'm surely going to be giving her Fury 3. I do have SP for that. And I've got Oscar. Oh my god, Oscar has broken my pity rate. I actually got 2 Oscars in the same summoning session when I was trying to get Shigure, so I do kind of hate him, but then again I do like him because of his stats and his voice actor. And Oscar is not really that bad of a unit, he's actually pretty good, and I just went with a budget set of Sapphire Lance and Life and Death. And for some reason I've got a lot of SP on him. And then I've got my Spring Xander. I did get a lot of them when the Spring banner came out, and right now he's relevant once again because of his Live for Honor skill, because this is super useful because Sacred Seals do require a lot of badges, so that's why you can definitely use Xander with that skill to get more badges. And then I've got my Perry. Perry used to be the best offensive Lance Cavalier before Oscar came out, and I did build her before Oscar. And she's got Brave Lance and Gale Force set, and she's actually pretty good. She's my best offensive Lance Cavalier right now, and I do use her for my Horse Emblem team occasionally. And Perry didn't really break my pity person, but I just ended up getting some parries, and one of them was plus speed minus res, so that's why I decided to build her up. And I've got Ketria, and she's got a Darting Blow and Desperation set with Luna. And then I've got Claire. I did use her quite a lot in my arena videos if you guys do remember. And I've got my Tana. Now I just went with the niche of Tana's Vidofner and just built her up with Fortress Defense 3, and she's actually a pretty nice enemy phase flyer that I have. And I hope that I can use her a lot more. I haven't really used her too much as of right now. I just built her up. And then I've got Walter. Just built him up with Darting Blow and Desperation, and I do use him for my free-to-play guides. And then I've got my Cordelia, and she's pretty much my best Lance unit because of +4 merge and because of good IVs. She's got plus attack IV, and she's also a permanent member of my Flyer Emblem team, and she rocks with Life and Death and Desperation. And occasionally I do run drag back on her for some in-game content. And then I've got my Hinoka. I used to use her a lot for my Flyer Emblem team, but she's minus speed actually, so that's why I just went with Death Blow for her set. And then I've got my man Tsubaki. I've used him a lot actually on my Flyer Emblem team, but ever since Alinci got released, I just went with a more hyper offensive Flyer Emblem team. The reason why I have given him Death Blow is because even though he's plus attack IV, he can lag his player phase damage output, so that's why I decided to give him Death Blow. With Death Blow and Sapphire Lance, he can easily one-shot a lot of red units. And then I've got my Ninian. I got her from the Hero Fest 2. I didn't really make a summoning video because I didn't really summon too much on the Hero Fest 2 banner, but I was able to get a minus attack Ninian, so that's why I went with Fury, because for a minus attack Ninian, Triangle Adept isn't really as good as Fury, and Fury definitely helps her with her lackluster attack if you've got a minus attack one. And then I've got my +3 Merz Noe. She's also a pretty good unit which I've used quite a lot. And I've got my Lind. This is a minus attack Lind, and I also got another Lind, and she was minus attack as well. So I've got 2 minus attack Linds, but she's just a passive healer with Aura, Breath of Life 3, and Breath of Life Sacred Seal. And I just went with Life and Death 2 so that she can reach 50 attack, and she's got a lot of speed because of plus speed IV. And then I've got my Mei with Darting Blow and Desperation set. And then I have got Delphia. This is a minus speed Delphia, so that's why I went with Death Blow and Lancebreaker set. It's not really worth running Life and Death on a minus speed Delphia, I think. So hopefully I can get a better Delphia in future. And then I've got my male Robin. I was not really able to get a male Robin originally when the game came out, so that's why I just upgraded a 3-star Robin all the way to 5-star, and he has been a very reliable unit for me. And then I've got my Bunny Lucina, and she's got a Swift Sparrow Desperation set. And I've got my Shigure. Just went with a budget set of Darting Blow and Geyser Dance, or Geyser Dance as you guys would say in US. And then we have got Reinhardt, the meme of this channel, and he used to have 9,999 SP, but I inherited a lot of skills for specific usage, so that's why he has 8,000 SP now. And I've used him a lot in Tempest, Trial and Chain challenges, in Arena, in everything I've used him so much. And he's not even a plus attack Reinhardt. I haven't really got a plus attack Reinhardt, believe it or not even as a 4-star Reinhardt. And he's got Lancebreaker and Death Blow. Time will tell if I need to inherit Swordbreaker on him for Sigurd, depending on how common Sigurd becomes and how high Sigurd's res is. If Sigurd's res is just too high, then obviously Swordbreaker isn't really going to be helping too much, but hopefully it's slow like in Fire Emblem 4. And I pretty much recommend everyone who does not have a 5-star Reinhardt to upgrade a 4-star Reinhardt if he's not minus attack IV. IV is not really matter for Reinhardt as long as he's not minus attack. And he's just a monster. He just trivializes any kind of in-game content. Like with Reinhardt and Dancer, you can easily clear so many chain challenges. Like just destroy someone with Reinhardt, use dance and then use reposition on her dancer and get back to safe area, and you can just do that so many times in chain challenges. He's just an amazing unit which I use a lot on my Horse Emblem team. And then I've got my Olwyn. This is a quad Olwyn set with Life and Death and Desperation. I've given her a lot of usage, even though Reinhardt is the superior one for me at least. But I enjoy using her with her quad attacking set actually. I do use her with my Horse Emblem team at times. And then I've got my Summer Karin with a Blair Blade set, and she's also a permanent member of my Flyer Emblem team because she is plus speed, I think. Yeah, she's plus speed. So she's a pretty nice unit. And then I've got my Anna, and she's the one which I married in my Awakening save file. And I'm running a Fury and Desperation set. She's actually a pretty nice Reinhardt check with Fury and her res. So she's actually the second unit which I upgraded on my game from 4-star rarity to 5-star after Sharina. And then I've got my Quad Raven, and he's actually a pretty fun unit to use with Brave Axe Plus and Life and Death. And I was also able to get him with good IVs. I actually got him from the Hero Fest 1 banner when I was trying to get another Hector, but he was the one who broke my pity rate, and I'm glad that he broke my pity rate because he's an awesome unit. And then I've got my Hawkeye, or Hot Guy, whatever you guys want to call that. I haven't really used him too much because I got him recently from a banner, I think. So yeah, I've just built him up with Lancebreaker and Dragon Fang. Dragon Fang is pretty good with Killer Axe, and Lancebreaker is there because he cannot really double anyone, not any kind of lance unit, so that's why it helps. And then I've got my man Brave Ike, and this is actually minus speed plus res Brave Ike, which is pretty good actually. Plus res is nice, and minus speed does not really bother Brave Ike because minus speed just means that he's going to be getting doubled more, and he's going to be charging his ether fast with steady breath. Brave Ike is actually a pretty good unit as well for clearing up the chain challenges. And then I've got my +1 Murray Spring Crom with Fury and Lancebreaker set, and I'm actually going to be giving him Lancebreaker 3 because Oscar is available now as a 4-star unit. And then I've got my Summer Tiki with Melon Crusher, and she's actually minus speed Summer Tiki if I remember correctly, and she's plus defense, so she's actually a pretty good unit for SP grinding with Axe Valor. And then I've got my Performing Arts Azira. I've been using her a lot as of late. She's my main dancer right now, and she's actually really amazing. She's plus speed minus attack, but still a singular dancer does not have to attack too much, and whenever she attacks she can do the job because of plus speed IV and just double my enemies, so that's pretty good. And then I've got my Summer Xander with Infantry Pulse, and he's a plus attack Summer Xander, and I've given him HP plus 5 because I do use him a bit in my Tempest Trial runs, because the boost which you get on the bonus units in Tempest Trial can sometimes just mess up Infantry Pulse, so that's why I've given him HP plus 5 so that he can have more HP than my other units, even if it's a bonus Tempest Trial unit. And then I've got my 5-star Sheena. Sheena has not been on any kind of banner, but still, I somehow managed to get 4 of them at 5-star rarity. And this is a plus attack Sheena, so I just built her up with Triangle Adept because I want her to be a blue specialist, and Igneous does make up for her lackluster damage output. So that was Sheena. And then we have got Hector. This is a plus attack Hector, and I did get him from Hero Fest 1. And then I was able to get another Hector from that same Hero Fest. And he has been paired up with Effie, and he's also the permanent member of my Armor Emblem team. And then I've got another Hector which I got from one of the recent summoning sessions which I uploaded to YouTube, and I've been saving this encounter for a worthy unit. And then I've got my Amelia. She's minus attack plus defense, but still she can destroy a lot of things with Igneous and Fury, so she's a permanent member of my Armor Emblem team as well because of Armor March. And she's a great unit actually, and hopefully I can get a better IV Amelia in future. And then I've got my Titania. She used to be a member of my Horse Emblem team, but recently, ever since Brave Lyn got released, I replaced Titania with Brave Lyn. And she's actually a pretty good unit on my Horse Emblem team. She's a plus attack IV Titania. And then I've got my Michaelis. He's a pretty good defensive flyer for a Flyer Emblem team because of IO Shield, especially how Brave Lyn is so common right now. And then I've got Michaelis' sister Minerva, and I've used her extensively in my Flyer Emblem team, and I did sacrifice a Hinoka to her for my Flyer Emblem team. And then I've got my Shershi, and I just love using her so much because her damage output is insane with Brave Axe Plus and Death Blow. So she's one of the units which I've used a lot in the game, and she's definitely very helpful for clearing a lot of the chain challenges. Then I've got my +1 merged, Camilla. Because I've got a Death Blow Shershi, I do not really use Camilla that much, but still I did use her a bit. She's got Axe Breaker and Death Blow. And then I've got my Fae. I've built her up with Lightning Breath, Triangle Adept, Quick Riposte. Even though she's a minus res Fae, still she can take on magical hits pretty well. And then I've got my plus speed Merrick. I did build him up to be a Brave Lin check, and I've given him Bow Breaker because some of the +10 merged plus speed Brave Lins in Arena can actually just quad attack him with Brave Bow, so that's why I've given him Bow Breaker so that he can always double those Brave Lins and not get quad attacked. And then I've got my man Bowie, and I've used him a lot for the Echo's Tempest Trials. I think he's minus speed, but he's got plus defense IV, which is really good. And Bowie is one of the few units in the game who does not need to run Triangle Adept with Raven Tome because of his high defense, and I can just run Earth Boost, so he does not really have to care about Cancel Affinity all that much. And then I've got my Sonia. I also use her quite a lot in the Tempest Trials. She's a pretty fun unit to use with Fury and Desperation. I built mine up with a more offensive skill set because I got a plus speed Sonia. And then I've got my Julia, and she's a great Reinhardt check. In few days, her mother is gonna get released, so let's see if Deidre is actually better than Julia stat-wise. She obviously has better skills than Julia, but let's see her stats. And I've got Nino. I've used Nino so much because she's a very fun unit to use, and Blade Tomes are just busted, so that's why I've used her a lot. And then I've got my Sorin with Green Tome Breaker, Death Blow, another Reinhardt check, and he's pretty useful for Arena Assault, and having more Reinhardt checks is definitely very useful. I've got my Inigo with Triangle Adept, Bow Breaker, and Ground Raven set. This is pretty much his best set, which makes him a really great anti-meta dancer. And then we have got my Summer Elise. Didn't really build her too much because I already have a Nino, and she is super good with plus speed IV, so that's why I just built her up with a budget set, and I use her for Green Tome Valor. We'd really need Red Tome Valor actually. And then I've got my Spring Camilla. I used to use her on my Flyer Emblem team as a Blade Tome unit, but ever since I got a plus speed Summer Karin, I do not really use her too much on my Flyer Emblem team in Arena, and I actually do use her daily because of her Live for Bounty skill, and I do use her in the 10th stratum of the Training Tower daily so that I can get more crystals and shards. Now you would say that shards and crystals are pretty useful, why do you just use her? But for me it's pretty useful because I often use crystals and shards to level up the units which I want to fodder for skill inheritance. Like I would use crystals for leveling up a 3-star Sabaki who I just want to fodder off for Quick Boost 2. So for that, crystals and shards are pretty useful. Then I've got my George with Brave Bow, Life and Death, and Sword Breaker. Just went with Sword Breaker because of speed stat and didn't really give him Desperation. And then I've got my Fae with minus attack IV, and I did use her in Tempest Trial too because at that time I didn't really have any kind of bonus unit other than my Bowie and Fae, so I did use her for that. And I've got my Leon who's +1 merged with plus attack IV, and he's actually a very strong Brave Bow unit. And then I've got my Klein, and he also has Brave Bow, Life and Death, and Desperation set, and I do use him a lot as my quad archer. And then I've got my Rebecca. I did build her up with a budget set because she's minus speed, so I just went with Darting Blow, Desperation. Pretty simple stuff. And then I've got my Bright Cordelia. I did get a bit unlucky with the minus speed IV, so that's why I didn't really build her too much. I just went with a budget set of Cupid Arrow plus Life and Death, Escape Route. And I've got my Summer Gaius. Like I said, I do lack Hinata, so right now he only has Fury 2, but I will definitely give him Fury 3. And then I've got my Setsuna, and I did get her from the Battling Ursula banner really long time ago as a 5-star unit. I actually got 2 of those, so she's a pretty good quad archer. And I've got my Takumi. I do not have Brave Bow plus fodder right now. That's why he only has Fusion Yumi right now, but he's a plus speed Takumi, so I'm definitely going to be giving him Brave Bow plus. And then I've got my Brave Lin. I do use her a lot on my Horse Emblem team and for my guides on different Grand Hero Battle and Bound Hero Battle videos. I actually got another Brave Lin, but she's minus speed, so I'm saving her up for her Swift Sparrow skill, and hopefully I can use her for that in future for any worthy unit which gets released. And then I've got my plus attack Summer Frederick with Fury 2 and Renewal. I am in a dire need of Hinatas, as you guys can see. I do use Fury on a lot of my units, so that's why I'm lacking some. Hopefully I can get those when I summon on the Sigurd banner, and as you can see, we are almost done. This video has been fairly long, but I figured I would just explain some of the things which I've did with my units and how I've used them. So I've got my Performing Arts Olivia. I've made her up to be a Reinhardt check with guard too, and just in defense, she's minus speed, but she's plus res, so that's good. And then I've got my Felicia. I also got her from the Battling Ursula banner really long time ago. I didn't really upgrade this Felicia. And she's also a really good Reinhardt check with guard and fury, and soon I'm going to be giving her distant defense 3 sacred seal when I upgrade that. And then I've got my Jacob. He's also one of the first 5-star units which I got, and then I think he broke my pity rate for Jafar on the Blazing Shadows banner. Yeah, pretty sure about that. So he's plus speed IV, so that's pretty nice, and that's why I've given him Darting Blow with renewal, and he's just got a budget set. And then I've got my Kagero. I enjoy using Kagero a lot, and she's a great unit. She's got a plus attack IV. I've got a Fury and Vantage set, but for Tempest Trials I do use Life and Death 3 because units there have got insane stats, so Life and Death actually helps with that. But for arena purpose, Fury is pretty good. And then I've got my healers. We are almost done. I've got my Maria, and she's the unit which I got on the Jafar banner. Lachesis, which I also got from the Jafar banner. And Bride Lynn, I've used her a lot as my healer because of Dazzling Staff and Candlelight, and she's a pretty awesome unit actually. And in general, I like Lynn a lot because Blazing Sword was my first Fire Emblem game, which I played at the age of 8. And then I've got my Mist, my Sakura, and my best healer, Priscilla. She's actually my best healer, and she's got a lot of SP, so I'm just waiting on getting some Jenny so that I can give Wrathful Staff to her because she's a plus attack Priscilla. So she's got a lot of attack, she can definitely make good use of that. So those were all of my 5-star units, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this showcase. And I want to thank you guys for all of your support. I'm only able to do this because of the support and the love you guys show on my videos, and I'm very thankful and happy about that. So hopefully I can continue to make more videos which you guys can enjoy. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.